Hey guys, Dan here. Hope everybody's doing well as always. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about hardships and more specifically, how to address and overcome hardships in our lives, in our existence, in our business existence, in our personal existence, in all of existence, right? So, everybody struggles. It's the human experience at the end of the day, right? We all encounter points of hardship in our lives. Now, most people try to mitigate this by saying, look, I'm struggling right now, but somebody over there is struggling so much harder. They've got it so much more difficult than I do. So therefore, somehow I shouldn't wallow in my despair during my hardships. This never works because although it may be true that somebody over here is struggling immensely more than you or facing, circumstances that would just melt the regular person into a puddle on the ground, it still does not mitigate what you're experiencing. It still does not retract from your specific personal hardship. So that approach of sort of thinking, well, look, there's people in Africa who are doing it extremely tough, or the homeless man that I walked past this morning was out in the rain last night. Knowing these things does not mitigate the weight, the heaviness you feel on your shoulders. It will never retract or reduce your own hardship thinking this way. Now, guys, why is it important to talk about these things and really get it out? What relation does this have to publishing? Well, everything. Because the moment that you choose to become an entrepreneur is the moment that you are acknowledging and accepting extreme adversity for the remainder of your entrepreneurial journey. Becoming an entrepreneur is extremely hard, right? You are accepting that that weight will weigh down heavily on your shoulders throughout your entire experience and your entire journey as an entrepreneur. Of course, there are some business models that don't weigh down as heavily, right? But all hardship is the same. All hardship is the same. For example, when I feel stress and adversity or come up against obstacles inside of my business, whenever um, whenever I feel these things, I also can feel the same way I felt. The weight is identical. The pit in my stomach is identical. The same way I felt when I was homeless all those many years ago, laying next to that car, looking at that stars, wondering, is this all there is? Right? It's the same adversity, the same weight, the same feeling, the same emotions. Of course, there's a scale of emotion. Some things make the emotions peak higher, where other adversities have them lower. But it's the same weight that we experience. Now, when you're in business, this weight will be often and it will be consistent. You will come up against struggles and brick walls. Now, like I said, some businesses have less hardship in them. For example, publishing, right? You might be thinking, yeah, but Dan, I want to just publish, create passive assets, retire on a beach somewhere, and not have to worry about those hardships ever again. I will mitigate all my financial hardships. But look, guys, I know this sounds cliche, but money does not mitigate hardship. It really doesn't. Money will never fill that void. You will always remain hollow unless you can figure out what it is that's making you hollow and fill it with substance. Money is not substance. It will never add substance to your life. It can add things. It can take away slight financial burdens. It will never take away the hole that you feel in your heart. It will never take away the pit that arises inside of your stomach. Money will never do that. So, recently, a friend of mine who has a friend whose daughter is 18 years old. and she's just been diagnosed with cancer. Can you imagine the hardship that that family is going through? Can you imagine the hardship that this young lady is going through? Can you imagine the strength required to get through such a thing? Can you imagine when they get through this thing, when they fight with everything they have to win the battle of their lives that they will have in their souls? The way to mitigate hardship, to reduce the weight that you feel on your shoulders, is to self-inflict it. Believe it or not, this stuff actually works. Now, I don't mean go out there and and just give away all of your worldly possessions and become homeless to feel hardship. I mean the little things. It's the small things that we do on a daily basis that can allow us to tackle with full force those massive hardships that are inevitably coming your way. Life is hard. Hardships will be coming. Lives will be lost. Triumphs, joy, all of these things will be experienced too. So we have to somehow prepare ourselves for this. Just like the fighter who goes into a fight does not drink beers and eat pizza all month before the fight. The fighter who goes into the fight prepares his mind, his muscles, his fists, hardens himself, becomes the warrior. It's the same way of the mind. You must become the warrior of the mind. And the only way to do this is train. Right? It just makes sense, guys. It slips so it's so obvious, but it slips us. It slips our vision. We don't see these things, but it's so obvious that to undertake and overcome those extreme hardships, we must first train. And the way to do this is small self-inflicted adversities. Now, this could simply mean waking up earlier. This could simply mean going without the food that you're craving just because you want something sweet tasting in your mouth. This could simply mean not procrastinating on the things that are difficult. I actually have this saying that I use all the time. I'll share it with you guys now. If I don't want to, therefore I must. Right? So if I'm sitting here and I'm like, look, oh man, it's been a hard day. My brain's just foggy. It's not working anymore. I don't want to do this final task. Or, oh geez, my back's hurting because I got slip discs in my neck. I don't want to go and lift those weights today. I've got all the excuses under the sun. But when my brain starts going there and making these excuses, I tell myself, I don't want to. I actually don't want to do this. So therefore I must. I get up and I do it. I sit down and I focus. Therefore I must. These small overcoming procrastination steps, these are the things that can lead to us overcoming the big obstacles and the hardships in our lives. Big obstacles. Going back to my friend's daughter. What a warrior that this girl has to become at such a young age, right? It actually affects me in my heart. And guys, I'm going to put at the top of my timeline, there is a GoFundMe for this family. Medical bills are expensive. So please, if you can, go and help them out. Because what are we here for as human beings if we can't show compassion? If we can't feel empathy? If we can't even just give $5 to this family to help them out through one of the biggest obstacles they're ever going to have to face? They're facing it right now. Go help them out if you can, please, guys. Can you imagine this young lady's life moving forward? When she overcomes this thing with our help, they need the medical help, guys. When she overcomes this thing, nothing will stop her. When you overcome a massive, immense hardship, a massive, immense adversity in your life, you truly become powerful. At this time, you will know you are capable of anything. The problem with this is, guys, I have overcome massive adversities, illnesses, homelessness, abuse, all types of adversities in my life, huge adversities, loss of life. My best friend took his own life. I've overcome so many things, and each and every time the power that you feel is undescribable, but it dissipates through comfort, through life going back to its comfortability. It dissipates and you become less confident. You become less of what you truly can be. And that's where these small self-inflicted adversities come into play. We must do this if we want to propel ourselves into becoming the person that we need to become to achieve all the goals that we must achieve in our short existence here on this earth. So guys, that is what this video is all about, right? It's all about stepping up to be the person you know you can be. Money won't make you the person you want to become, right? Freedom won't do it. Hardship will. It builds character of self, self-acceptance, self-reliance. Hardship builds all of these things. Without hardship, I think human beings would be nothing. We wouldn't have what we have right now. We wouldn't have achieved what we have achieved as a species. We would not have struggled and strived to be better if everything was simple and easy. It's going back to business, guys. If you achieve this passive income through publishing, if you work with me and my company and you achieve these things, you will go sit on the white sandy beach for a while. You will. We all do, right? You will go, wow, life is so good, I can retire. You will do that. You will go and you'll take the holiday. And then over time, through life being so simple, so easy, inside your belly again, you will start to feel the emptiness, the shallowness, the hollowness. And you will need more. You will need to struggle once again. This will happen to you. It happens to us all. So, the moment that you chose to become an entrepreneur, you accepted this life. You knew that you thought you knew what you really wanted was it easy. You really wanted freedom. You really wanted the simple life, the easy life, right? You didn't want to have to struggle with the bills anymore. These are the things you thought you want, and you're still thinking you want right now. Trust me, I know, and I speak through experience. When you get those things, guys, it won't fill you up. Only self-growth can do this, right? Only striving to become the person that you know you can be will fill up that emptiness, that void, that pit in your soul. These are the only things. I was talking to a new friend of mine this morning, and he has a child who's going through a tough time. You know, these adversities, they're hard, right? It feels to me that everything that this man has gone through in his life has led him to this very moment, this immense challenge, this massive challenge, the biggest challenge of his life that any father could go through. Worse than death for himself. Everything this man has gone through in his life led him to this moment so he can get through it and be strong for his family. If you're watching this, brother, you got this. All right, guys. I'm going to jump off right now, but just know the moral of this story is you're going to experience hardship. You need to train for it. You need to prepare for it. Don't let it destroy you, destroy it. All right, guys. You all have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.